Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith, the only podcast clinically proven to get you laid. Wait, did I say laid? I meant a modern understanding of science and medicine. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, Dr. LondonSmith.com. And I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. First, for that earlier part where I messed up saying that earlier part, and then also this feedback I've been receiving. We've been using a lot of technical terms on the podcast, such as pyrexia and spaghetti straps, so I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Hi, Dr. London.
Hey, so you told me I shouldn't be, like, that I need to follow the script, and I was really trying to improvise for that beginning part this time. I just understand what you mean.
Oh, okay. So that was sort of what I was going to get at is, I had a couple notes, of course.
Yeah, just...
But I mean, but you're still learning the script is what you're saying. You're still memorizing it after 160 something episodes. This is still sort of a struggle for you. Or you don't like the script? You don't like what I've written?
No, I like it. It's just, you print out a new one for me every week.
Yeah.
And so I have to memorize it all the way new again every week. So
yeah, no.
You say it as if I should know it by now.
And that is fair.
Like, you change some of the words. So I can't just memorize the same script.
Well, they're usually just a different font, but I mean, still sort of the same thing. A font says a lot. It's sort of your inflection. It's how you deliver it.
Yeah, I've said spaghetti straps in so many different fonts now that it's just confusing to me. But like it's a work in progress, and you're the producer, so like I'm happy to try it your way. I'm sorry.
To me, it's just like, okay, if you don't hate the script, then why the fuck are you acting like you're dead on air? There's no emotion in your voice. I want to hear your pain. Okay. I want to hear your anger. Right. I want to hear your past and your love and your joy. Right. There's no emotion in your voice at all. It's just clinical.
Do you want me to...
Blah, 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 blah. We're trying to sell action figures here, Dr. London.
Okay. Do you want me to try it again a little bit? With more passion?
More passion and maybe a funny accent.
Okay, and you said no racially offensive ones this time?
I would prefer not, which you never have before, but you do always ask that question.
So it's a no.
It's still offensive. A no, yeah.
Okay.
But I know that even if I said yes, you're not going to do one, so it's just more of a curiosity for you, I guess.
Well, yeah, but okay, so don't do that. Okay. So
introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine to our daily lives, but without it being so boring. Did that get it?
That was powerful, Dr. London.
Thank
that
you.
Was so powerful.
Good.
That was so special. I was suddenly taken back to 1996. When
I was going to say, yes, that's what I was going for.
I was just a child and I was sitting on Santa's lap and I was saying, Santa, can you please bring me a tank? And the joy I felt when he said, Sonny, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah. Okay, so it does make sense, because I was trying to bring a good Christmas vibe into this, because it's August, everyone's feeling hot.
Oh, yeah.
And so that did come across. I'm glad for that.
It came across very clear. I'm shivering in my boots over here.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a little bit. I would love to see a take. Love the take. Oh, I love the take you did. If we could get a take where we actually see some tears, because you do your resume. I mean, it does say that you cry on command, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's I cry when I command. So like if I have sort of a fleet or a military, sort of a group of people under me.
So just
that
use that. Yeah. So just use that and then give me it again. And I need to hear you cry this time, but really, really sell it.
Okay.
I really think I could cut this clip and I could send it to some really high up execs.
In the Barnes and Noble executives, that's all you've ever talked about is the execs that you know, is the booksellers, club executives.
And what about them?
Okay,
you don't
no,
like them, or is that you're afraid of them?
I was just clarifying.
I don't know what you're saying. Okay,
that's who you were going to send them to. Okay, Barnes and Noble.
Oh
Barnes and Noble.
Of course.
Okay.
Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners, our army, our large gathering of listeners. We have received some feedback, and it's about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as pyrexia and
sniff. I want to hear some sniffles.
Spaghetti straps. And scene. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So you seem to be expecting me to just be warming up with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting it to sort of get into a full-blown meltdown and weeping. And
if I don't hear marching, it really doesn't.
You don't improv, is what you're saying. You don't do improv.
That's what we started with. Yeah, I don't do it. I tried it, and it ruined the script.
I want you to stick to the script, and I also want you to make it your own. How can I be more clear?
Okay. So that's our producer, Cameron. Also with us is, did you know in the house?
I want you to stick to the script, and I also want you to make it your own.
Did you know the host?
I want you to stick to the script, and I also want you to make it your own. How can I be more clear? I want to hear your pain. I want to hear your anger. I want to hear your love and your joy. I want to hear your pain. I want to hear your anger. I want to hear your love and your joy. I want you to stick to the script, and I also want you to make it your own. Absolutely.
And I'm sorry to kind of run over this, Cameron, but like we only have so much time to shoot, so we kind of gotta hurry this along.
And how much is that?
How much time?
Yeah,
like 3-4 hours tops. So we gotta pick up the pace here. So we're burning daylight. But we also have a special guest, right? Later on the show.
I mean, I would say special is such a subjective thing to assume, oh, they must be a special guest. Everyone's going to consider them a special guest. I'm not sure that's fair. Because I could say, oh, yeah, they're a special guest. But Susie Q down the street, listener number 1, she might think, hey, this isn't special at all. And then, I mean, we've got a libel issue.
Okay, yeah. No, I hadn't thought of that. And that's why you're the producer, and I should have taken that into account.
Yeah, you don't think
Okay. Well,
That's not your job, pretty boy. You're just supposed to be the poster
know,
child
just
and then
the
to
face.
read my script exactly.
yeah. So, taking out the. Okay, the script. So, before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. Okay, so our marketing demographics have changed to a slightly more. How would you phrase it? How did you phrase it in the script? It was illiterate.
Oh, well, I said like goofballs, first of all, because first and foremost, our listeners are a ton of goofballs.
Yes.
Love hanging out. They love like ultimate frisbee.
They use the word zany.
They do use the word zany, not frisbee golf. I do want to clarify. We're talking about ultimate frisbee, it's like the field sport rather than a course sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not recreational, it's professional.
Well, that is also true. A lot of our listeners are professional ultimate frisbee players.
Yeah. They don't do it for fun, they do it for work.
But unfortunately, we have found out that most of them cannot read or write or whistle. Those are the three things that are really holding them back. But besides that, you guys I keep saying we, like, but I'm talking about you guys. You, our listener.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you, listener, for listening. But anyway, so the feedback that we've
You don't have to grovel.
so the feedback we've been receiving from you.
Oh, thank you so much for listening. Oh,
Just-
I mean, come on. Have some respect.
You know they won't keep listening if I don't do that. Like, you know that it's by a thread here. So the nature of the feedback.
I'm just saying, maybe they're looking for a more alpha doctor. And this is a little bit non-alpha behavior.
So
Oh, thank you. Thank you for turning in. And it's like turning in, it's tuning in. Like you're not even using the right words.
I know, and you always give me that in the script and correct me on it. I know. But so the nature of the feedback has changed along with the listener demographics. This week's feedback comes in the form of a rag. So, yeah, and it looks like it's maybe got some spit up on it. Maybe they're asking us how you use a rag. So I guess, so usually you'd.
Are you asking me that, or are you saying the listener is asking you to ask me that?
I'm saying the listener's probably asking both of us that. That's my interpretation of it. I don't know if you have a different interpretation. That's really what the question was, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to sort of look at it from the perspective of an ultimate frisbee professional.
Right.
Read it again, and I'm gonna let's do our put ourselves in someone else's shoes segment. So DJ Dylan, play the song when we put ourselves in someone else's shoes.
Play this one. We're putting us in the shoes.
Yes.
All right, all right, I got their shoes on. All right, now I'm an ultimate frisbee player.
Okay, and I'm going to kind of go with the avenue that I imagine our listeners, which is kind of barely able to function, just spitting up a lot. So you should take that perspective, but I'm going to go with from their perspective, they would want maybe this rag to be put on the shoulder of a loved one, and then they would have their back patted until they spit up onto the rag. But
I'm thinking having a rag on your shoulder is great for playing ultimate frisbee if your tummy gets upset and you want to spit up.
okay, yeah. So I guess it does amount to similar.
You already have a rag for like sweat and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that.
But you need your spit
It's
up rag.
for the same reason you said. It's if you need to spit up and need to be maybe one of your teammates needs to burp
Yeah.
you or whatever. You've got access to that.
Yeah.
So I think you're 100% right. And are you saying or we're deciding if they're comparing it to the show?
I think we already hacked it, honestly. I think we've got it. We just had to tell them the reason you have a rag is to spit up onto it. And find a friend to burp you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be close with them. I'm not close with my dermatologist or whatever. You've got people who do a job.
Oh, you aren't close anymore, huh? What happened with you and the dermatologist?
Well, he stole my wife.
And you just let that be the end. Okay. Okay, no, okay,
Oh,
that's
you're blaming me for having my wife stolen? I just let him steal my wife? Okay.
well. No, I mean you're letting that get in the way of your friendship. Is what I'm. You say it like that just cuts it.
It made things so awkward
Well, how?
when we would go on vacation together.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we would get our clothes mixed up because she would buy us some shirts that she had bought me.
Yeah.
She really liked them, so she had bought him as well.
Sure.
And so suddenly we have shirts. I mean, they're the same size and everything, but he uses a different fabric softener than I do. And so there's a bit of a different smell. It's not quite as soft as he makes it. Mine, I like it to be a little rough. Mine's actually a fabric like roughener is sort of what it is. What was the question?
You mentioned that you've drifted away from your dermatologist, but I can see why that would make any social situation difficult if you had similar shirts and yours was just more rough. Okay, so
Not any social situation, just really if you're on vacation with your dermatologist and his new wife, which is your ex-wife.
okay, so
I would say that's mainly the situation where it sucks. It sucks so bad if you're in that situation. Otherwise, might be okay. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for situations I've lived.
No, I mean that makes sense. It's I mean the part where with the fabric softener stuff like that I get. The rest I'm hazy on. But so to this listener, thank you for listening. With this rag stuff. But now for today's medical topic, pituitary adenoma, specifically in the context of hyperthyroidism. So, like other forms of hyperthyroidism, pituitary adenoma can present clinically with symptoms of tachycardia, palpitations, heart arrhythmias, diarrhea, weight loss, anxiety, nervousness, restlessness, hyperreflexia, heat intolerance, and fever. A distinguishing feature with a pituitary adenoma in the context of hyperthyroidism, however, is that these patients will have a high TSH level. Okay.
This is actually speaking to me a little bit because you mentioned that you could come down with a disease I've struggled with for a really long time, which is nervousness.
Okay, one of the symptoms, of
one of the worst diseases a person can have is, my doctor told me, I was probably like 6 years old the first time he told me that I was diagnosed as chronically nervous. Yeah. Not anxiety or anything.
Did he say chronically, or did you just decide that because it's been so long?
I mean, it was you. I don't know. Do you remember? I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was
okay.
6.
Yeah.
So what do you remember?
So I was a kid at the time as well. But yes, I said you look nervous, and I guess...
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm not taking... I guess I thought it was the doctor's job to take notes.
No,
not the patient's.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be critical. You don't... So you're chronically nervous, yeah. Especially if you're nervous now, I would assume it's persisted, yeah, in a chronic state.
Oh, I get so nervous. Anytime I have to public speak in front of crowds of more than like 80,000, 90,000 people, I get so nervous beforehand. Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots.
Really? I can't even imagine. I get it for for 300,000, sure. Like that's going to make anyone quake in their boots a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, at 60,000, you're...
Okay, well, I said 80, 90,000. At 60,000, I'm asleep because I'm bored. Because I'm not nervous at all.
Yeah.
My nerves are the only thing that keep me awake.
You being asleep for the 60,000... If that was me, I might get nervous for 80,000 if I've been asleep while people are still coming in to fill up the rest of the... Anyway, diagnostic testing for hyperthyroidism includes T4, also known as thyroxine, and this is elevated in all forms of hyperthyroidism. Another marker to check for is TSH, which is elevated in pituitary adenomas, and that's what we're talking about today. But it's decreased in hyperthyroidism caused by non-adenoma sources. So, lab findings in pituitary adenoma in the context of hyperthyroidism will show a high TSH, and the confirmatory test would, of course, be an MRI of the head in order to visualize that tumor. That's releasing the TSH. And treatment for pituitary adenoma is typically going to be surgery. So, and
And who's performing that? Who's doing the surgery?
That'll depend on your individual situation. In your case, I'm not sure that you have a pituitary adenoma causing your nervousness. A lot of people...
You're saying there's no cure.
Just exposure... never mind.
I was so nervous that there was no cure.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and move on from there.
What did I do to deserve this, God?
Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. We have a very, very, very special guest. It was very rude of you to not say that our guest was very special.
Okay, well, and I feel like it's... I can't... I know you don't like for me to blame the script.
You're right. I hate that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I feel like I tried to read that from the script, and then you had so many notes, which I assume it's been cut out now. But, like, you had a lot of notes. You took me back, and you kept saying, like, no, you don't ask that.
That really doesn't sound like me. It might be one of the other executives that, a lot of people put notes on this thing. This script goes through a lot of rewrites, goes through a lot of, higher ups.
Well, and why it's once again though, it's Barnes and Noble. Like, are they that good at writing the scripts for a podcast?
You're saying you've
Noble
never
executives?
read a book before, and so you don't know what Barnes and Noble is. Is that what you were saying?
This is
because all you got to do is go to one and then read a book,
okay,
and then
yeah.
you understand exactly sort of what their business plan is. And
okay, I've had just a lot of different experiences there. I go there and get coffee usually. But in any case, hello there. My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com, and this is our producer Cameron. What was your name?
Oh, hey, my name is Rebethecca. I'm so sorry. Was I supposed to receive a script of some sort? Because I guess I missed my cue or something. Or
Yeah. I don't know if that's.
Well, the script I usually send to the guest is usually it's a JavaScript. I mean, it's a code, and you just got to run that on your computer, and then just keep your computer open. And then when you might at random points during the day or whatever, might see your camera light turn on. That's nothing. That's a fun thing. That's a fun game. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, as a guest, you do have to run that script on your computer.
So my Java update has been going off. It's been telling me to update. And I click on update, and then it says it did it, and then it says that it needs to do it again. Ooh. Is that your program?
And I gotta say, I don't like coffee at all, y'all. So Java's not gonna do it for me.
Oh yeah, that is a sort of a conflict of interest there.
That's what that
being
it's a conflict of interest if you're not interested in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mainly just for my insides. They don't really like the coffee so much. So yeah.
If you're disinterested enough, conflict. Yeah.
Wait, your insides don't like the coffee. You say they, like your insides is a different person.
Well, I like to consider all my different body parts. While we are Rebethecca, they are their own entities. So my stomach doesn't necessarily enjoy the taste of coffee, but
your tongue does, or
my tongue definitely does. Yeah,
it's your stomach can't stand the taste, despite not having to taste the buds.
Do you name the body parts, or are you just like, hey, stomach is stomach?
Well, yeah, because that's what we all learn in grade school, right? We learn the body parts. Unless I've been calling them all wrong.
I learned it in med school, honestly.
No, that's correct. It's just, my dog isn't named Dog. My dog is named Dr. London,
Oh, I didn't know that dogs could get PhDs. That's amazing. My dog is going to be so happy.
Yeah, and he went through school for so long. I think it took him, I want to say 2-3 years to get his medical degree. Did it take you a little longer, Dr. London?
Yeah, and it's...
This was all, of course, before you got your degree, because you're named after my dog.
I know, and I also don't... your dog got to do it in dog years, too, which I don't remember if that helped him or hurt him, but I know that it left me feeling bad regardless. Because your dog is my boss. The hospital administrator is your dog, and I report to Dr. London all the time, and he disciplines me a lot. Like, how do we get to this subject? Because this is actually getting into my personal life a little bit too much.
I was gonna say, I did come here with a referral, for a separate issue besides dogs. So if you could help me with that would be great. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I prefer it. Yeah.
No dogs. But I have been experiencing some really strange symptoms ever since I went into this giant cloud out in the middle of the desert. And by golly, I just can't kick whatever has gotten into me. And, my doctor, he said he can't help me. He did all the palpitations and all of the, the tinctures and all of that. And just nothing worked. So he said to come to you specifically. And hopefully you can help me.
Yeah. A lot of our referrals do come from tincture-based medical practices. And a lot of, they don't palpate, they palpitate.
Medical apps.
Yeah. A lot of medical apps. A lot of the ones that won't make it onto the official, Google, Android, Apple stores, they'll...
Yeah, but you could just, if you download the APK file.
Yeah. Yeah,
then you'll be...
It's a very involved process.
Talking with a doctor within 20 minutes.
Yeah. And
the install is going to take a while.
Yeah. And also you're going to have to watch a few hours of YouTube videos to figure out how to get the installation going, depending on what kind of system you're working with. But there are great YouTubers out there. Shout out to Fire K. So do you remember the name of this particular doctor?
Dr. Johnson. John Johnson.
Okay. Okay. Dr. John. Yeah, no, so he and I have a history, and this might be a prank, or it could be a very serious medical emergency, so we're going to walk that line.
Well, I like to think that it's a very serious, condition. I can't tell just by looking at me, but my skin doesn't look too good. And that's from the cloud.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I did not want to say anything, but the way your skin sort of moves and ripples, it's almost like it almost looks like, I don't know, little bugs are underneath the skin. It's kind of hard to tell. It's like it's always moving and jittering around.
Yeah, I call it the creepy crawlies, because that's just kind of how it feels, and then I'm normally not this pale and ashy. We spend a lot of time out in the desert. So I'm normally very, very tan. And so this skin crawly, ashy look is just so abnormal.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's kind of an issue that I have. So Dr. Don Johnson, he specializes in therapies that treat eye cloud exposure. So it's a lot of exposure to digital information stored in what is called the cloud, but it's actually just data. And so, but he does believe it's an illness, a disease. So I guess part of the problem that I find usually is that people are just they just stay in the shade a lot whenever they come in for this skin stuff. I get that you see yourself as a very tan person, and I think that's a great perception to have. That's a wonderful perception to have. But maybe, have you gone outside in the desert, or are you mostly inside? I'm also with the cloud. Is it like a real physical cloud?
Yes, it was a real physical cloud. I don't know what the cloud was. It was just a cloud. I assumed dust because it's the desert. The dust is going to happen.
Did it feel? Yeah.
Dr. Leonard, what are you doing?
Like
you're accusing our guest of lying or of not knowing what a cloud is? I don't understand.
I never expected this from some big city doctor. I mean, wow.
Thank you for flattering the city.
You're not tan enough to live in the desert. You must not live in the desert. You're not tan. Is that what is this? You're accosting our guest and your patient and friend.
Well, okay.
And I never said that was the only thing that was wrong with me. I just said, from the look of me, there are obviously other things. This cloud messed up more than just, my skin.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about your arm juice. Your arm has been like dripping juice or something for, I mean, the whole time you've been here.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is that store-bought or is that?
No, that's homemade. That's all homemade. And I call that the lemonade because depending on where the liquid comes from on the arm, you see, like if you look up more towards the armpit, it's a little bit more viscous, as some might say, but it does taste like lemonade, which, when have I been around lemonade? I mean, do I look like a girl that drinks lemonade? No, I do not.
Well, and did you dye the hair yellow? Was that an aesthetic choice, or is that because of the juice?
Oh, that's definitely
because your armpit
because
hair is, okay. It's kind of hard to tell because it's hard because of the amount of armpit hair. It is sort of hard to tell where exactly it's coming from.
I'm an all-natural gal. What can I say?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no. This is just more, I'm all natural too. My pits aren't shaved. I was surprised at the amount. I don't know if I've seen a living human being have that amount of armpit hair. I guess for a long time I thought it was your hair, like coming down from your head, because I was like, oh, is her hair just really long? But now I've realized it's mostly the armpit hair dripping out of your shirt arms. It's
nature's
flowing
extensions.
Back.
Yeah. I have taken some of the armpit hair and attached it to my head, so that it does kind of give the illusion of, extensions. But yeah, that all happened mainly just because of the juice. They were obviously rather bushy before, but then once the juice hit them, oh boy, you couldn't just get them to stop. I mean, just grows nonstop, baby.
And is this cloud related, or was this going on beforehand?
A little column A, a little column B. I think the cloud made it worse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sort of enhanced an issue. Well, an issue, not a
perk.
An action that was happening. Yeah, a perk. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah,
glass of lemonade, of armpit lemonade half full,
A skill.
Yeah, and like I said, depending on where you lick, it tastes differently. So you might get raspberry lemonade. There's strawberry on the other arm. If you taste a little bit more towards the elbow, you get some weird mojito flavor. I don't know what exactly it's supposed to be, but
have you thought about getting into seltzer? It seems like a lot of those lemonade companies have their own seltzer these days, like an alcoholic seltzer. You might try to look into that.
I have considered it, but I'm a full-time mom, so I don't really have the time for a new venture right now. I mean, I just have too much to do, so.
Yeah. Well, and you're already drinking so much wine, you don't want to mix in a different kind of alcohol if you're a mom.
Oh, no. That's the worst advice.
It's tough being out there being a full-time mom because like so many moms out there have to work 2-3 full-time mom jobs.
Yeah. And also drive drunk everywhere because you started drinking at
their moms.
Yeah, 8 a.m.
And you compound it, yeah.
That's what people don't say. What people always say, oh, being a mother is the hardest job, but they don't say why. It's because you're trashed the whole time.
The level of alcoholism required, it's not easy, and it's like all props to you for that. But so I hate to sort of call back to I hate to interrupt because Cameron, you're doing such a good job asking these questions. But Dr. Don Johnson, one of the things that he's kind of known for is flavor implants, he calls them. So he will take people who maybe are I don't want to disparage him because he did earn his doctorate in architectural design, and so like he's great at that. But sometimes when he dabbles in medicine or claims to be, he has a habit of putting things like sort of concessions, injecting them into people's bodies, and so there's a chance that you might have.
And what about
in
that?
addition
Is that
to the
just,
lemonade,
it's just a fun story you're telling, or what?
I'm saying that she might have. She might be one of his patients in that regard. Like he might have implanted lemonade dispensers or possibly mustard dispensers as well, because condiments are also part of it. Have you had dinners pop out of your limbs? I guess is
out of my limbs. No, I have never had a dinner, TV or otherwise pop out of my limbs. Now, my derriere, that's a different matter entirely. I have had a whole turkey dinner pop out of there, and that just plumb surprised me. I mean,
I did want to ask about the shape of it. I didn't know if that was inappropriate to bring up. We don't really usually ask about the shape of our guest's derriere, as you put it. But since you brought it up, I figured, I did think you were wearing like a 2-person centaur costume when you walked in. I thought there were like 4 legs.
Which Cameron often makes that mistake. Like, that's a very common mistake.
Yes.
But this, I'm going to affirm for you, Cameron, like, it looks that way to me as well.
Well, I do have to say, no, you're right. After I hit that cloud, it just hasn't been the same. My derriere just has not been the same, and starting to really, really affect me. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can imagine how at parties, like people say like, "Oh, we ran out of this or that," and you're like, "Whoops!" And then they have adequate drink or food or whatever they need.
And I can't control it. It just slips right out of me. I can't just say, "Oh, hey, you want a bowl of chips and some salsa? Here you go." No, it's just, "Oh, I'm going to give you 5 pounds of rice for no good reason." And who wants to eat rice at a party?
You don't want to be the rice person at a party. Oh my gosh, the person at a party who just shows up with like 10 pounds of rice.
So many times.
So many times you've been that person, is what you're saying.
I've been that person. Yeah, I've been that person so many times.
We've all been that
People keep
person.
saying-
We can admit it.
Yeah. People keep saying, like, I already have rice. Like, do you want me to make this now? And you keep saying, oh, it's so quick to cook. Do you have a rice cooker? It's so quick. And they keep saying speed is not the issue. Speed was never the problem.
And then they bring out the rice cooker, and I'm like, okay. Like, I don't actually know how to use one of those. I just kind of know that it's in the name. So we go to their kitchen, and then we're both trying to figure it out. Like, they're looking up on YouTube. I'm trying to just Google it and just figure it out. And so we're both kind of searching.
Right. And then you have too many cooks in the kitchen, and then no one's getting the rice cooked because
everyone's excited about cooking rice. So everyone comes into the kitchen. Everyone's pumped.
Exactly.
Everyone's like,
yeah. Then there's too many people, and then there's like a fire code violation.
And that's when the police show up and they book your ass. I don't mean to swear, but that's what they do.
And I'm yelling at them as they take me out. Blue lives do matter. I believe you now. And unfortunately, like, the message, by then, they just don't believe it because you got the rice cooker, and I think it looks like a bomb to them. And so it's just...
Yeah.
But we've all been that person at the party.
Right. Exactly.
So I can imagine in your situation, if you're involuntarily that person at the party.
Yeah, it must be tough.
Yeah. I have no choice in the matter. Absolutely no say. And that's honestly the worst part. I can handle food getting dumped out, that's whatever. I'll eat it, I'll clean it up, I'll do whatever. But the fact that I just can't control it is just maddening.
So I guess that's what we can do.
I mean, it sounds like this cloud really... I was just going to ask more about this mysterious cloud. You wanted to move on.
Well, it sounds like we identified the problem, which is just controlling the dispenser. Like, that's all. That would fix all of it.
Oh, okay. So just like wear Tupperware as a diaper?
Well, I'd say... sorry, yeah. Rebethecca.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I've tried it, y'all. They just blast on through. It does not work.
Oh, they blast through. What is the velocity of this expulsion?
I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, Dr. Johnson, he's thorough in this regard. It's like, now that I'm trying to think about how to explain it, it's going to be a lot to translate physics-wise. But essentially, there are a lot of cartridges also implanted, and it's going to fire out. So just having a proper nozzle dispenser, something that'll cut things off appropriately at the right spot, that's really what you're going to need.
Wait, I can't tell what is cloud caused versus what was installed by Dr. Johnson at this point. So is it just the dispensers? What is your centaur shape of a body? Is that the cloud, or was that
Is his
Dr.
office
Johnson?
in the cloud?
It's just outside the cloud, yeah. And I have gone to see him a couple times, and I had to walk through the cloud every single time. So I'm going through the cloud to get into the office, and I'm going back through the cloud when I come back out. And then the next week I'm back in there. So, a lot of cloud transference going on.
Yeah. So I just, and I don't want to disparage Dr. Don Johnson at all, but like part of he has a sign out front, if I remember correctly, that says like, cloud got you down, come in here. And like a lot of advertisements that are saying, kind of blaming the cloud for the problems that you're going to have after you make a visit to his office. So once again, I don't want to disparage him. I don't want to make him sound bad. But like his doctorate's really more in architecture, architectural design, and so like, I hate to. Basically, I'm saying maybe it's time to just let's focus on how to fix the problems that he kind of created potentially. He may not have intentionally created the problems, but if we could just basically, there's a big faucet on you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you're well aware of the faucet.
Oh yeah, I'm well aware of that because again, that happened during the cloud. Well,
yeah.
I don't remember exactly which number.
Right. So there could be a lever on it, a lever or a lever depending, and there's a spot for it. And so, this is gonna make me look suspicious because I get so many referrals from him, but I happen to be the only supplier of that particular lever.
No way.
So,
holy cow.
yes, I know. And it makes me look like I'm trying to drum up business through this shady network, but I can't really defend that. But that's more or less what we have here. But
business.
before we do
you
that,
always say it's just business.
Yeah, it's just business. But before we get to that, and part of sort of earning it right is we have some chores to do.
Oh, just like on the farm.
No.
All right, I guess if we have to.
Yeah, and we truly do. So, Cameron, would you mind explaining?
Rebethecca, I'm glad you're so willing already. Let me explain what we're even talking about. Dr. London and I have been neglecting all of our chores for weeks now. We've had so many things on our to-do list. And I'm just going to be honest. It's been too hot outside. I can't find my shoes. I can't find my socks. Can't find my dog. Can't find my mom. Can't find my house. And I've been sleeping in my car for weeks now. And so the chore...
You found your car.
Yeah, no, I was sleeping in that. So I was able to find that. But the chores just sort of stacked up. And so we invented this fun chore wheel, and we spin it every single week, and whatever it lands on, that is the chore that we have to do. Rebethecca, would you be so kind as to spin the chore wheel for us?
All right, I'll give it one good turn, and...
Oh, no, of course we have to do this.
Ugh.
I knew it.
Not this one.
We have to come up with the new Jock cereal.
Okay.
We've been putting this out for a while now, but General Mills has been riding our ass about getting them this, cereal idea or whatever. They're like, we need you. You're so popular. We would just want your face on our box, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But,
to be fair, like, when children think of cereal, they do tend to think of their doctor. So,
in podcasting.
I get it. Yeah, and podcasts specifically, yeah. So, I get it. And, the face of General Mills medically has, and podcastingly has been Dr. Don Johnson. So, I'm looking forward to kind of taking over that arena a little bit.
Oh, yeah, nice connection there.
Yeah.
I can enjoy some healthy competition, so sure, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Especially since he did this to my body.
And hey, you've come to the right place for a cure. So, anyway, so, okay, cereal. So what should be in the cereal, I guess, is the first question.
Yeah. Well,
pistachios. Okay.
Do we want this to be, how branded do we want this to be? Because do we want it to be medical-ish adjacent, so it sticks with the Jock Doc brand?
Yeah, just adjacent. Like, I don't want to go too thoroughly, but like a few syringes should be in each box.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, my gut instinct was Band-Aids, because it's already sort of cereal colored. Well, yeah, I'm thinking of, Lucky Charms. They've got, hearts, stars, horseshoes. They have these different options. If we have, syringes, if we've got Band-Aids, if we've got, like, maybe mourning parents
Loose
who have, like,
pills.
just lost a child or something.
Yeah, loose pills is also important.
Loose pills, yeah.
Here's what I imagine for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up in the morning. I'm late to surgery. I grab my box of cereal. I run. I get to surgery.
You didn't put clothes on.
Didn't put clothes on. Yeah.
Didn't say goodbye to your girlfriend.
Yeah. Didn't say goodbye to the raccoons. Didn't say goodbye to the Portuguese man on the couch. Didn't say goodbye to anyone.
Yeah.
But because I'm in a hurry, I'm late. So I run to the hospital. Fortunately, it's next door. I tear open the box of cereal. I put it on as a garment. So that's one thing to work on. I tear open the bag inside of it. And as I tear it open, it just folds out neatly. And that's my surgical instruments right there. Everything I need. That's the perfect cereal. I unroll it, and it's every little piece from the cereal box is what I need. So,
well, then let's think outside the box a little bit here, and maybe why are we settling for it has to be in a cereal box? Maybe it's just in a bag, like a medical bag, not like an off-brand cereal bag. This sounds like a tote bag almost, right? Like maybe having a shoulder strap or something so you can take it to work easily.
The thing, because like I said, I'm gonna be naked, so I'm gonna need it as the box part is kind of important for that to wrap around myself.
Okay, but let's now hear me out. Could still do the bag. Now in the bottom though is Velcro, so that you can just rip it on open and then just slide, shimmy on in.
Shimmy and then Velcro as well.
Yeah, that'll feel real good against your skin.
Yeah, okay.
What if it's sealed up with Velcro, then what is that material that you can sort of slinky out and you can sort of collapse it,
Slinky?
You could do that, stick your feet through. Yeah, it's a big slinky. You can stick your feet through that. Okay.
I guess when I imagine on that scale, it does make me feel like parts of me might get pinched in the slinky, but
and that'll really wake you up.
That's right. Yeah.
Could you go for the...
What a relief. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the cereal is just going to be medical tools made out of some sort of like graham cracker or something. And that should be fine for like surgery, right?
Like as long as it's not that... How do I say it? As long as the surgery isn't... Insurance can't bill for it. But that's most... Yeah. That's right.
Oh, insurance won't bill for it if it involves graham crackers?
Yeah, but insurance, we're going to be out of network regardless, We're going to be out of network with this cereal.
That
could be the slogan.
To be out of network.
That can be our slogan. It's going to be out of network.
It's out of this network.
Out of this network. That's even better, yeah.
Now, we need a mascot because you got to have some sort of like fun, cartoony character on the actual box. It can't be just a picture of us. It's not Wheaties.
You're right. So, can we get a picture of Dr. Don Johnson on the cover?
Oh, yeah. That would be really great.
He's been selling so well, and I feel like if we just get his picture... Because he's a bit of a cartoonish person,
I was about to say, he when you look at him, he looks like a cartoon. Like you think you're looking at like a television or maybe a magazine or something, but it's like, oh no, that's just how he looks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, those are his googly eyes. In fact, and those are giant hands. So.
He's only got 4
giant
fingers.
hands, googly eyes. Yeah.
He wears the same shirt and pants every single day.
Yeah.
He never ages.
Yeah, he's immortal, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, anvils drop on him constantly, and that man just pops right back up like nothing happened. So,
yeah. Okay, so he'll be on the box.
Just real quick, people say when that
yes.
happens, when a big anvil or piano or a big boulder falls on your head, and then it hammers you into the ground and everything, and then, you know, people act like you're just fine after that. That can cause brain damage. For real.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
You did.
I know this sounds like one of your... Okay. I was going to say, this sounds like one of your just regurgitated medical facts you got from your friend down the street, but that I keep forgetting that's me. I'm that friend down the street who tells you stuff.
Yeah. You texted it to me this morning.
Yeah. Well, just in case you forgot. No, I'm this is one of those situations where I wanted to tell you so, but
yeah.
The context really threw me off, and so
I just want to say
that can really cause brain damage.
For people out there, your brain doesn't stop developing until you're 25. So if you're going to get smashed in the head with a big anvil, a giant piano, anything like that, please wait until you are 26.
Mm-hmm. And then once your brain is fully developed, it's so strong.
Oh yeah, it's like a football
an anvil.
helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the strongest part of the human body is the brain when it comes to anvils.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like that's cereal.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So so if you wouldn't mind, just before we, put that lever on your faucet.
We didn't name it.
Oh, you're good point. Good point. Now, no, I hate to. This feels like a low-hanging fruit, so do chime in if you have something else. But I'm thinking Dr. Don Johnson's bona fide medical cereal. Do you want to just call it that? Now, there is a competing product with the same name out there currently.
Yeah, but it's a soap.
Yeah.
So I think if they're different types of product, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And very clearly, with Don Johnson on the cover of the cereal, I mean, it'll be pretty clear. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Context clues. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. So, yeah, Dr. John Johnson's medical thing cereal. Okay.
O's.
Now, if you wouldn't... O's, yes. Now, if you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and go back to Dr. Don Johnson, ask him if he has any more fixes for you.
Okay.
And then he might recommend that you come back here after he does his fixes, and we'll just make sure that you're all good on this end for your follow-up.
Okay.
And then I'm sure that'll be all. We might send you back just in case for another checkup, whatever.
All right. So you want me to go back through the cloud into the office and then, okay. So just keep doing that then. I got it. No, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Go through that cloud. I hear you, doctor.
Rebethecca, is there anything that you would like to promote or talk about? Like, obviously, the medical practice of Dr. Don Johnson is great, but are you a fan of anyone or anything you'd like to promote?
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to when I'm out camping in the desert is Dead Waves. It's an improvised paranormal podcast, and it follows the hijinks of Lilith, a psychic, and Grem the demon, and Jack the ghost as they help callers with paranormal problems of all sorts. And it is just a lovely little time. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I guess so you don't listen. You haven't listened to ours then. I get while you're in the. No, it's nothing. It's
I'm
stupid.
sorry. You have a podcast.
Yeah, no, it's stupid. It's not. It's stupid. It's stupid. No, it's just like a lot of desert dwellers talk about. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I don't even want.
I'm sorry, Dr. London. Can you cry on command, or are you just tearing up a little bit?
What? No, it's fine, honestly. And I'm an actor, so this is on purpose. So, yeah. Cameron, do we? So thank you so much to Rebethecca for being on.
Well, no, thank you. I mean, this answered so many questions for me, but I will say just be careful as I turn back around to make my way out of your office. You're going to want to stay clear of everything.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. This is the thing I should have said. So the lever, you're gonna just turn the lever. You don't leave it on there as is. You do turn it, and then it should stop the
right.
faucet.
So I turned it this way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Okay, no, the other way.
All
the
right.
other
okay,
way.
The other way. All right. There we go.
You notice how the things stop flowing out of you.
Go ahead and try the first way one more time just to make sure.
All right, and one more time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No.
Want me to,
I
okay,
don't know
I'll
how
cut
that
it.
makes
I'll
sure
cut
of
it.
anything. Yeah. You see how even the terminology changed to "I'll cut it." Yeah, that's what we're going for here. So, anyway, thank you to Rebethecca, and thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Did You Know in the House.
Hey, my name is Rebethecca. Rebethecca. Rebethecca.
Who lives do you matter? I believe you now.
Rebethecca.
Unfortunately, things don't believe it. Who lives do you matter? I believe you now.
Rebethecca.
Unfortunately, things don't believe it. I believe you now. I believe you now. I believe you now. I believe you now. My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com, and this has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.